welcome to episode 73 of Concentrated, the podcast about all the stuff we find cool and interesting as nerds of color. I am your host, Maria, and the adorable little bunny that you see, or bear, no, you're a bear, right?
I'm a bear.
Is the lovely Manera Bear.
Hi.
It's like you're a whole line at Build-A-Bear now. Just get Manera Bears. And the not bear over here is Eric.
I've been called bear in some communities.
You are a bear. Yeah, you are a bear in a community. You better be careful. It'll
Also,
snatch
we
your
have
ass
visuals
up.
now, so I will wave.
Look at
I'm not
that.
waving. I mean, you see me, you see me.
And producer guys up there in the Iron Man room for those that are watching.
That's very important to today's topic.
It is actually.
Also, that is called the Hall of Armor, madam. The Iron Man room.
It is when you're in actual Tony Stark's house. When it's a Zoom background, it's the
Still
Iron
the
Man
Hall of
room.
Armor.
Stop it.
Don't let her take your joy.
Whatever. So as Eric alluded to, this week we are going to be talking Avengers, but more specifically, we're going to be talking about the new Avengers game. Before we get into that though, and give you our thoughts on the game, it is time for Eric to do the news. Pew, 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 pew. I thought I was by myself there, and I was like, really, Manera? Is that what we're doing now?
That's the sound that bears make.
Is it? I was not aware.
Never heard bears do that, but okay.
Well, you know.
These Richard Attenborough documentaries are full of shit, man. All right, I got a death to get out of the way, and it's a sad one for.
It is very sad
for wrestling fans of the 80s and 90s. It is Animal, and if you don't know Animal, he is Animal of the Road Warriors.
You
guys know the Road Warriors?
Fuck yeah.
Mhm.
Listen.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they like for real made face paint look cool because they looked like they were
Face paint looked cool before that.
Yeah, but they had like the Darth Maul thing going on before Darth Maul. Just say it.
Yeah, he was a member of the Road Warriors, aka the Legion of Doom. Real name Joseph Michael Laurinaitis. Probably fucking that all the way up.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, he died at age 60. What is this? 66? Sorry, I had it written down and now it's not there.
So here's
60.
Here's the thing that I would say. Normally 60 is kind of young for where we are, but for a professional wrestler,
that's a fucking senior citizen.
Yeah.
It's very disturbing how early these guys die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but seriously, like I read that, I had seen it during the week, and I was so sad because outside of being like one half of one of the greatest tag teams in the history of professional wrestling, like just so many, like he's responsible for so many kids' memories, trying out moves on, well, a much smaller Eric back then. It was thanks to Legion Doom. Like that's where it came from. So that's sad.
And a little known fact, his son used to be a linebacker for the St. Louis Rams. Did not know that. Moving along. He died at 60, which again, for wrestlers is unfortunate, but also quite common.
Wait, but you didn't bring up the good thing of who didn't die this week, because we haven't been talking about it for a minute.
A lot of people. I didn't. You didn't.
Yeah.
She didn't.
And neither did Betty White. Just
Fuck
saying.
that old bitch.
Stop it. Betty White is delightful.
You keep bringing it up, and when she does, and I fucking crip walk across this camera, I don't want to hear shit. I don't want people like talking about how sad it is. No, the bitch is 1,004.
I didn't bring it up because I didn't want him to realize that she's still living.
Oh no, I realize it every day that I don't scream across my screen that Betty White is dead.
When she passes, we're gonna do a whole ass Betty White episode, and he's gonna sit here through all of it.
I would love to.
Betty White is overrated.
Oof.
The Golden Girls are overrated.
Thank you for being a friend. No, that's not.
Frenchie doesn't think that they're overrated, so
Spoiler
I'm gonna
alert.
need you right. So you better get your shit together. Next.
I have to get my shit together.
Next story, man.
Golden Girls wasn't nothing but a rip off of 227 anyway. So.
Ooh, I do love 227 though. You're not wrong.
Look, next story.
Next story,
man.
Sorry, I'm the story man here. We got the confirmation that Aldous Hodge is going to be playing Hawkman in Black Adam. Don't really give a shit about Black Adam, but the fact that they are casting him as Hawkman has never been black before, which is great. And the fact that they got Aldous Hodge, which I don't know if you know him, he played MC Ren in Straight Outta Compton, but more importantly, he was in Clemency, which you haven't watched Clemency. He is phenomenal in Clemency, real tearjerker.
He was in The Invisible Man as well.
He was, yeah. He was the best friend that was like, is this white woman crazy? Maybe this white woman's crazy.
Best friend / police officer / male who didn't listen to a female when she was telling them about her business.
And but he did it well.
Oh no, he did it fantastically. Because I was just like, really? Really? After everything you've been through, you're like, this is your best case scenario? Really? Okay. If you haven't seen it, it's such a good movie.
Yeah, it is a really good movie. He also has the rare achievement of being in 2 different Die Hard movies as different characters. Yep. He was in Die Hard with a Vengeance, which is his first role back in 96. And then he was also in A Good Day to Die Hard.
Wait a minute. I feel a little offended because a black man was cast in
twice.
Is he the same character?
No, different characters.
Okay.
We're just going to leave that there. Next story.
It happens a lot.
Live there.
Wasn't he in Leverage? And we're thinking about a different. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's one of the places he came from.
Yeah. No. What I was going to say is when he was in Die Hard with a Vengeance, he would have been in 96. He would have been like 15. Okay. No, younger than that.
Oh, so he was like a kid in Die Hard.
Yeah, because he's born in like 86.
Oh.
So yeah, he would have been 11, maybe.
Was he just standing?
He was probably one of the child actors that they had throughout the movie.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it is a rare thing. You don't see people play 2 different characters in like a Die Hard movie. Moving along, more casting news. Grownish and Blackish star Yari Shahidi is going to be playing Tinkerbell in the live action version of Disney's Peter Pan. They're doing a live action Peter Pan.
Hey.
Okay. I knew nothing about this. And I thought you were about to tell me that she was going to be on some fuck girl shit on Grownish because she plays a fuck girl so well. I am incredibly excited about this.
Yeah, I think it's really good casting.
I think that she is going to be an adorable fucking Tinkerbell. And I think I'm actually excited that we're getting a live action Peter Pan.
Disney version.
Yay!
Also, you want one more on there? Just to sprinkle a little goodness on there?
Okay.
Jude Law is playing Captain Hook.
Is he?
He is.
Okay. I'm sorry.
And Wendy and Peter are going to be very young. They're like 11, 12 age. So they're basically like kind of newer actors. But there you go.
This is exciting. This makes me so happy.
I think they're calling it Peter and Wendy instead of Peter Pan.
So do we know who's playing Peter yet?
Yeah. No, they've cast him. I have it right here because, like I said, he's relatively unknown.
It looks like it's Alexander Maloney, and that is real unknown. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, and Ever Anderson is playing Wendy. Wendy, she's in the new Black Widow movie, but she was also in the last Resident Evil movie, which is terrible, but
she was in it. Look, she got a little paycheck.
Yeah, good for her, but yeah.
Wait, so is that your last bit of news? Because you actually, if it is, you are ending on a high note today.
That was really nice.
I got 2 more stories.
Oh, damn it.
And if you want to get into rumor territory, I got a rumor too, but websites are reporting it as fact as well.
I love how you say rumor. Like you can't stand it.
I can't because it makes me angry. There's no journalistic integrity anymore. Because if one site says, oh, we have it from a source that we can't reveal, then every other place will come out and say, it's a fact. Deadline reported it, Variety reported it, and they're all just quoting the exact same story. They're saying that Samuel L. Jackson will return in a Nick Fury TV show for Disney+.
Is it Nick in the skirts? Because that's what I said I wanted, like way back when.
Nick in the skirts.
I know how it sounds. But when Civil War hit and like all those women rallied around Nick Fury being dead, I was like, Nick in the skirts, let's do it. I'll watch it. Come on, let's have it.
The name is offensive, but I'm with you.
Thank you.
They could clean it up.
Okay, here's the thing. I would be very excited if this were true, but also there was no like de-aging technology. We don't need that again.
No. I'm pretty sure this would be like, I'm hoping this will be, if it is real, there would be a show based around Nick Fury in space doing work with Sword, kind of like where we see him at the end of Captain Marvel.
That would be very exciting. Okay, well, if that's true, that is also good news. What else you got?
Oh, like when he got swapped out for a scroll. Sorry.
Yeah.
Now I'm just spitballing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. If they were to pick up from there and find out what he's doing in space, and maybe that way you keep it off of Earth. You don't have to worry about bringing in any of the big name actors from the show, and you could explore more of the cosmic Marvel universe,
which I would love. Yeah.
Everyone's favorite turf that won't shut up, J.K. Rowling has she's got some fans behind her who have penned a what do you want to call this, a notice of solidarity with her, because apparently she's being bullied on the internet for her views.
Her views are bullying.
Yeah. This list is pretty big, and it includes a lot of English celebrities, including writers and actors from a lot of well-known things, including Graham Linehan. Say again?
What actors?
Some of the actors I haven't pulled up yet, but I can send you the list. It's at least 30 people.
I need to see it so that I know what British shows I can stop watching.
I'll send you the link. Yeah, Graham Linehan, creator of The IT Crowd and Father Ted. Apparently he has been doing the same thing recently, where he goes on Twitter to yell about transsexuals. So
what are they doing to you? Nothing.
I don't know. If you look at this list, there's two things that stand out. One, they're all very rich people. Two, they're majority white people. And they're also older in age. So as we mentioned before the show, we think this is more of a generational thing where people just, they want trans people to stay in the closet and not be so visible. It's bullshit.
But if we wanted you to stay in the closet, you wouldn't stay because you have
apparently
that right not to
that's
be.
The whole problem. They're saying, like, people on this list are saying that J.K. Rowling is being bullied for her freedom of speech and for expressing herself and saying what people don't have the courage to say anymore.
Okay. Yes, she is being dragged online for expressing these views. She is. That they're not wrong. If you want to stick to the facts of, is she being bullied online? Yep, she is. However, to Manira's point, she's being bullied online because she has an opinion that, as expressed with the position of power that she is in, is incredibly harmful to the community that she is expressing these views about. So at the end of the day,
she is a billionaire.
Right.
So at the end of the day, JK, if you don't want to get fucking dragged, maybe you should shut up about it if it is not something that is truly affecting you. And I know somebody would be like, oh, but Maria, you're telling her she should shut up because she has a bad view, but no one should tell you to shut up with your views. My views aren't hurting people.
When you have millions of fans on Twitter.
Exactly. When you are at a certain place in your whatever profession or career and you have true power, what you say does matter and it does hurt people. And for you to willingly basically try to erase the entire existence of at least easily 1/10 of your fan base, what are you doing, man? Like, that's enough.
Have you seen the I forgot who put the article together. I think it might have been Reductress or one of those news sites. Basically, it is like groups of trans people who are Harry Potter fans and are basically trying to come to terms with their love of the story while also getting J.K. Rowling out of there, because and a lot of them say that Harry Potter helped them, through their transition and things like that. And it is heartbreaking to realize that the creator doesn't give a shit about them.
No, it's horrible. It is absolutely horrible. And do you guys know the logic of what she's saying? Like, what her issue is? It's not even that she has a problem per se with transsexual people. and I put transsexual in
Or
air quotes
transgender,
because,
transsexual.
or transgender, because to her, it should be in air quotes because it's not a real thing, right? What her issue is that by trying to say that true sexuality, true gender is fluid, that you are then erasing the gender of those that identify as cisgender and thus minimizing their causes. That is pretty much so. In other words, transgender women, by being called women, then turn around and they minimize the actual things that cisgender women go through. That's the basis of her argument.
Basically, textbook trans exclusionary radical feminism.
Right. Yeah. At its core, this thing that she claims that she's not is exactly what she is.
Yeah, as a
just
cisgendered
quoting
woman, I don't see that at all.
No, as a cisgendered woman, I think that that's ridiculous, right. Especially considering that because they are so marginalized, that trans women, I would even, as a cisgender woman, I would go as far as to say that transgender women in a lot of instances have it a ton worse than I do as a cisgender woman.
Mm-hmm. I can go into a bathroom that is labeled for me and nobody will think twice. They cannot go into a bathroom that they identify with. And then they have to go into another bathroom where
they're not safe. Where they're not safe.
Yeah, no.
Because we talk about safety.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't recall the last time a transgender woman went into a bathroom and assaulted a cisgender woman or a cisgender child. Mm-mm. Like, that doesn't happen. And even if you can find me the one case, there ain't just 10 transgender people in the fucking world. So you can just miss me with it. I'm so incredibly disappointed.
Not to mention they have to be at the ridicule of the world when people people making fun of gender identity. You know, I see it on fucking hillbillies in their pickup trucks. I saw one the other day in Annapolis. It said his pickup truck had a big old vinyl decal that says, "I identify as a Prius." Fuck you.
Yeah, I've seen those. It's really unfortunate.
That and the people that signed this, like their quote that they're saying is, "We are signing this letter in the hope that if more people stand up against the targeting of women online, we might at least make it less acceptable to engage in it or profit from it."
Targeting women or just this one woman?
Just this one. They're trying to make it an overall cisgender woman issue.
You don't speak for me, though. You don't speak for me.
Well, not only do you not speak for me, but J.K. Rowling, if you were actually the gender that your pen name was done under to make everyone think that you were a fucking man when you published Harry Potter, if you actually were a cisgendered man with balls and a penis, these same views would still have all of us fucking dragging you because they're ridiculous.
Boop, boop, boop.
That's
pretty much.
Boop.
Anyway, I want to end on a little something a little bit more lighthearted.
You should have ended on Peter Pan.
Is it something spicy or is it something sweet?
Well, it is spicy because, you know, as a people of the
because you can't find anything
of the Caribbean.
Spicy.
We do season our food. This is not official, but based on an excerpt in the new Guardians of Infinity, which is the book, the new Guardians of the Galaxy book. Marvel basically let their writers confirm that Groot in some form is Puerto Rican.
Wepa, bitches. That's right. I love it.
Yeah. Basically it's a quick little exchange between a kid and his grandmother. And she basically mentions that according to the Taino spirits, that Groot is a member of the Taino natives of Puerto Rico because of a spirit tree, and that she can feel his essence in the tree. So, ipso facto, Groot is Puerto Rican now. So,
all he's missing is his jersey with the flag on it.
Yeah, I can't
his
wait
eyebrow.
For the I've already seen the video edits of people like editing Baby Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy 2 dancing, and they've already edited in, you know, Ricky Martin and Daddy Yankee and all sorts of fucking Puerto Rican.
I need that Bad Bunny remake with Groot in it.
So again, we don't get to claim many superheroes, so we'll take the space alien who's a tree.
We will take the tree because you know what? You know that he's seasoning the hell out of whatever leaves he eats with adobo, son. You're going to eat
And
good
based
vegetarian
on,
with him.
I was say, based on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, he's the only one with rhythm too. So, boom.
Facts.
I'll take that.
Are you guys done?
That's all my news.
Wait, what are you talking about? I'm getting ready to throw on some Gran Combo and like put a clip of just little baby Groot getting it.
No.
Oh,
No.
trust me, I'll send it to you.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
You know what we're missing now? All we need is when the world opens back up for him to be the grand master of the Puerto Rican Day Parade in New York.
You think
If I
that's
could
not
get
gonna
somebody to
happen?
cosplay that, like the big tall Groot just dancing, oh, it'd be great. Like the ones that they have walking around Disney World.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which is the dude in stilts with a Puerto Rico jersey and like slits in his wooden eyebrows.
Are you guys done now?
Oh, I can't wait for somebody to laser engrave a Puerto Rican flag on his wooden arm. Because he wouldn't be a true Puerto Rican without a tattoo.
He's got to have a tattoo. As a matter of fact, we don't know. We might need to go back and see. He might have already had the flag. He might have had the flag and we didn't even see it. Mm-hmm.
Are you guys done now?
I mean, that's my news.
Thank you, Eric, for finding a way to end that on a happy note because I didn't think we were going to make it. Whew.
No.
Now that's all I can see is just little baby Groot just getting it on the salsa floor. Mixing it up. All right. So as promised, today we are going to be talking about Crystal Dynamics' new game, The Avengers. It's just The Avengers, right? Like it doesn't have any other.
It's just called Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah.
But
I just downloaded it and started playing it. I didn't even look at the title.
Yeah, it's developed by Crystal Dynamics, who's the same company that basically created Tomb Raider. They developed the Tomb Raider game.
Stop stealing my notes, okay?
Oh no,
I'm giving you a hard time. Go
published
ahead.
by Square Enix. So Square Enix also does Final Fantasy and a couple of other big name games.
Kingdom Hearts. That's probably, I mean, next to Final Fantasy, that's the biggest name that they do.
Well, I mean, Kingdom Hearts is Final Fantasy as well. So
is it technically like the entire
their characters show up in Kingdom Hearts?
I just thought it was like a cross collab type thing. I didn't think they actually labeled them as.
It's not technically Final Fantasy, but like the same characters show up. Just like you can label it any Disney game because they have all the Disney characters. And I think on the last one, they started adding the Marvel characters as well.
Oh, really? I've never gotten into Kingdom Hearts. I hear it's great. I don't know.
I've played the first one. I didn't get like there was too big of a gap. Like there's legit like a 12-year gap between part 2 and part 3. So a lot happened.
Yeah, no. See, I like my role-playing games with like straight up medieval feels to them. So
Kingdom Hearts is more of an action RPG.
Yeah, that's not my jam. I need to collect potions and set bitches on fire and eventually wield some swords.
You can have Goofy as the badass that he is. Goofy.
Who the fuck wants Goofy?
Goofy fucking he'll yuck you up, son. Goofy's the best on that game. Him and Donald Duck, way better than Mickey. Like at first chance that you get to ditch Mickey, fuck off, Mickey. Goofy and Donald.
Well, I mean, in the real world, Donald Duck is way better than Mickey. So,
yeah.
I mean,
Donald
the game was
walk around
consistent.
without any pants on. He's fantastic.
He is Winnie the Poohing it out here, and ain't nobody calling him on it.
Nobody. Literally
technically
nobody.
He's Donald Ducking it out here. He's been out since before.
Right. I was gonna say, was Donald Duck here first? There we go. There it is. All right. So, Eric, where do y'all want to start? Because I feel like there's enough to unpack in this game. I think that there are some areas that I think we should focus on as far as when you're talking about reviewing it. Where do y'all want to start?
All right. What are your areas? Because I can give you my traditional breakdown of how I review a game. What areas I look for?
Well, I say, considering that this is only the second time that we've done a game review, maybe Eric should have just hosted this damn episode. Let's follow your format because I'm pretty sure it's going to fit in with.
Can I go first?
Oh yes.
I was just going to break down the categories. I was going to say, gameplay, visuals, story, value.
Perfect. All right, Manira, go.
For gameplay, I would say, I guess a 5. I guess.
All right, so a 5 out of 10.
Well, but okay, because so here's the thing. Visual took a whole lot of my enjoyment out of it.
Really?
I don't like when go ahead.
Do you not like the fact that they look like knockoff MCU characters?
Yeah, no. And like she looks very puttyish, if that makes sense, a little clayish, and I don't like that. Like
it's the complexion.
It is that, and like they try and make her so real, and I don't like that at all.
Well, that's the difference. Like, this is the first like photorealistic game for Marvel. Like, and the problem is, if the MCU didn't exist, this would be the best looking adaptation of any Marvel property. Because before that, outside of Spider-Man on PS4, which is fucking amazing, it's in a whole different class. Outside of that, we didn't have anything to compare the two until the MCU. So now, like, they had the unfortunate circumstance of dropping the first trailer for that game a few weeks after Endgame came out. So like you had this juggernaut of franchise for 11 years, and then you had this new thing, which people were like, these are like when you ask your mom for McDonald's and she's like, we have McDonald's at home. That's what these Avengers were. These were the Avengers you had at home.
Yeah, it took me out.
It took a little while for me to get used to it. Like, after a while, like when I saw Captain America 1, I hated the original outfit that you start with Captain America in. It looked too militaristic and not functional. But like later on in the game, you get a new outfit, which is essentially his stealth outfit from the comics, the one which is based on the one that he had in Winter Soldier, which I love. But it takes a little while to get past the fact that the characters and the voices are not what you're used to, because again, you've had the MCU for the last 11 years.
Yeah, I think for me, I see both sides. When I first, like, literally once it finished downloading, which thank God it wasn't as bad as trying to download Call of Duty, but it was still a pretty major download. Once I downloaded it, like as soon as I opened it up, that you get that first scene, like you, Manir, I was like, oh, they look different. But then as I looked a little bit more and played a little bit more, I'm like, they actually look more like the comic book versions. Like the more I got into the game, the more it very much felt to me like they purposely decided to design these characters more so off of the comic book characters and not the actors.
They didn't want people to confuse this with the MCU, which is its own thing. And like, thankfully, like, this game is good. The MCU, every game that's come out of the MCU based on a property has been terrible. So like, you might get the likeness rights to use Robert Downey Jr.'s face, but the game is trash. So I would prefer if they spent more time, working on the gameplay and the visuals, not, just the likenesses. And you get over it over time. And thankfully, we didn't have a photorealistic Kamala Khan yet, because she hasn't been in any of the movies or TVs. So
you got the cartoon, but that's not photorealistic.
But basically, they based a lot of the characters off of like photorealistic artists who will put together, and like the actors that do the voices. So I was happy with that. Like I said, it takes a little time. It can be a little confusing because, again, you're used to the MCU. You're used to Captain America being Chris Evans. And this guy very much was not Chris Evans.
He didn't sound like when Captain America first spoke, I was like, oh, it is going to take me a while to get used to this guy's voice. Like, and it did. It took me like half the time I played before I was like, oh yeah, Cap is fine. I loved Thor though. Like the dude that was doing Thor's voice.
I thought he was the main one that was like way over the top.
No, see, I loved it. I love my Thor over the top.
Ew. Thor's not like right in your face. You don't need to shimmy.
I love him. All right, so the characters kind of took you out of it, or at least the visuals. What else did you think about it? Outside of just that.
It's beautiful. It's very pretty. Very, very pretty. And I do like a pretty game. So, I just the people. I don't like them.
Yeah, I think the more you play it, the more you'll get used to it. I like the visuals of the character designs more than the actual game. Like outside of some of the bigger set pieces, like A-Day, which is the first, where you're before the big event, and then there's a 5-year jump. San Francisco looks great, and the helicarrier looks amazing. But like once you start playing the game and you get into like all these AIM laboratories and like Utah wilderness and what's supposed to be New Jersey,
it felt like the same thing over and over again.
Exactly, and
that was my
I have
biggest
more to say
issue
on
with
that
it.
later. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, they all start to look the same, and the enemies kind of all look the same because they're all the basic.
They
there's like 4 or 5
the
different. Yeah,
like,
there's like
stop.
4 or 5 different versions of adaptoids and.
I would say,
synthioids.
yeah. Let's be honest. The studio got a little lazy here, and at that point, like by the time you go through, like I'd say, even hell, by the 3rd or 4th encounter with a group of enemies, it's the same damn thing, and it gets a little repetitive, and it's just like, all right, well, I guess I got to do this again with these guys in
that's
this
one of the
new
biggest
area.
problems with the game, and the game itself is built on like a grind system where you have to play these missions. It's very similar to the first Destiny, where it'll give you a ton of missions to grind up and like level up your character, get new armor and stuff, but the grind is not very satisfying because you're essentially playing the same missions over and over again.
The best part, and I have not played the multiplayer version, and I do understand that eventually what Crystal Dynamics is hoping to make this is like another, not another GTA per se, but like that seems like it's what the end goal of this game is. Like, we're going to give you this story mode. It's going to be a live game. We're going to continue to have like free content to download, and we're going to do this, that, and the third. So it will, and I guess we'll talk about value later. Eventually it will have that value. But if you are just somebody that doesn't want to interact with other people and just wants to play the fucking game and be left alone, you're going to get to a point easily by, I would say, not Eric, I don't know how you two felt about it, Eric and Munir, but I felt like by the second act, I was already kind of over the repetition of some of the missions.
Yeah, no, I basically like if you play the story mode straight up, you avoid most of the side missions. This is a 10 to 12 hour story mode that you can get through.
Yeah, it's actually pretty short.
Yeah, it's pretty short. But again, the repetition of the mission types, like, yeah, you come across some iconic characters like the Taskmaster and Abomination, MODOK, and a couple of other like big name characters, but like it gets repetitive really quick. So by the end, I was just like, all right, who are my best people that I want to play as? I would pick who I want to start the mission as, and then some missions you don't get that choice, it's depending on the story mode. And then you just pick your next best 3 characters. So if you want Hulk, you want Iron Man, you want Thor, you want Kamala or Black Widow, like you're just trying to rush through the missions to proceed with the story, because the story is fantastic.
Yeah.
The gameplay, not so much.
Yeah, I think, and I like the fact, I don't know if either of you guys were aware, but there are apparently a couple of first editions that there's like 5 first editions that were done right before the game, for the game basically. And then there's another set, I gotta check, because there's another set of tie-in,
like comic tie-ins.
There's another set of comic tie-ins that they did after the fact, or they're supposed to come out after the fact. It's a 2 books. Titan Books is publishing 2 tie-in books for the game. The first is titled Marvel's Avengers: The Extinction Key, and then the second is Marvel Avengers: The Art of the Game.
The art of the game I do want to pick up. I really love concept art and storyboard art. So like I try to pick up the ones for the movies. Like Andy Park is Marvel's head concept guy, and his books that they put together of like character designs, and you get to see, especially for the MCU, you get to see like his progression through costumes and what actually makes it from his initial sketches all the way to what actually made it to the screen. It's fascinating for somebody like me.
All right. Cool. So, Eric, what were the order of things that you wanted to?
There's one more, right? It's value, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. What I said was gameplay, visuals, story, value. So gameplay, I would say, is its weakest element. Like, yes, it is fun like initially when you play through the first mission, you play as everyone for the exception of Kamala, because there's a 5-year jump and Kamala's, I believe, 11 at the beginning and she's like 16 when you pick up and start playing as her.
Okay, but can we talk about that? Because you're talking about with the first mission. Before you even get to the first mission, when Kamala and her dad are going to like the Avengers Day event, before the event, it's beautiful.
That's what I want it to look like in Disneyland or Disney World.
Right?
That's what I want.
If they could just, because even then they have like little games and things that you play.
Mm-hmm.
It felt very theme parkish.
Mm-hmm.
Here was the problem that I had with that from a gameplay perspective, though. The mechanics were a little wonky. And so you could be like, you know, when she had to go collect the comic books, you could be standing exactly in front of where you needed to be. And it would take a second for the game to recognize you were there to then give you the option to like press X to do whatever you needed to do. And I noticed that in other areas of the game that it just felt like it was just a bit off.
Yeah, a lot of people complained about the control and kind of there were a lot of bugs upon initial release. And actually, I believe Crystal Dynamics just released their first like major patch earlier this week. And a lot of it is fixed, but it's still like hit detection and things like that. They're still kind of hit or miss.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was an issue for me in the gameplay. I think the other thing that was an issue to me was that it felt like certain characters were a lot easier to maneuver than others, which didn't make any sense, because it was like there were instances like some of the stuff that Thor did as far as like the multi-combo hits, super easy to do, even though like on the screen they were like the most fluid and like they were the prettiest, right? But then you would get into some of Iron Man's stuff and it was just like,
Iron Man was probably my least favorite character to play.
What am I doing? I hated playing as Tony Stark. I hated playing as Iron Man. His
flying is weird. He doesn't run. Like he like has a little jog, but when you click in the button to run, he doesn't run. Like his boosters come on and he kind of glides. I found that annoying.
It was
not weird. To mention he has an energy meter, because all of his, for the exception of his light attack, all of his heavy attacks are based on like his repulsor rays. So they go like if you're doing your heavy attacks, you can only do that a couple times because you've run out of juice and you have to wait a couple seconds for it to recharge.
Which is bullshit.
Hammer on people.
Which is bullshit, by the way, because Iron Man doesn't have to be like, oh wait, I guess I can't attack again right now because I gotta recharge. Like that was ridiculous.
I mean, it can be plot armor, kind of the same way that Spider-Man's web shooters were initially designed. They were designed so that when he had to reload his web shooter, it was meant to give you a moment of drama. Like, oh, will he make it in time? He's out of web fluid. He needs to find a spot to hide and reload. Iron Man, not so much because he's got a nuclear reactor in his chest.
Exactly. Like, to your point, it works for Spider-Man. It did not work for Iron Man.
Thor was probably my most satisfactory person to play as, next to Captain America. Like when I first started with Captain America, I was like, all right, I don't really like this. He doesn't have, he can't fly and he can't. But like later on, you realize, oh, he can wall jump, he can double jump. He's a brawler, but also like he fights like Tomb Raider. Him and Black Widow are very similar, but she has ranged attacks with guns. His shield was very satisfying, but like Thor, I liked the detail paid to like, if I throw my hammer at somebody and it sticks them against the wall, the hammer's not going anywhere until I legit press L2 again and it comes back to me. That was very satisfying as a comic book fan.
Yeah, Thor was my favorite character to play with. Thor's followed by the Hulk, because who doesn't want to
smash?
Hulk's probably my second least favorite to play as.
Really?
Yeah. I felt like I got all of the benefits of Hulk as well as some cool new things out of Kamala, because she plays very similar to him.
That's true. Yeah, I would say my top three were definitely Thor. I don't know why, I just love Thor in this game. It would have been Thor, Kamala, and then the Hulk. Definitely my favorite. Did not enjoy playing as Captain America, but I think that's just my own bias, because y'all know how I feel about Captain America in general.
It really comes down to your play style as a person, because in a game like this, especially if you like, that's good that you don't enjoy playing as Captain America, because if we played together, that would mean I had Captain America free, because you might pick someone like the Hulk
or Thor. Like I don't know how else to say it. I'm going to be Thor. Like that's what it is. bitches is catching that hammer. They catching hands and a hammer. That's what's happening. But my least favorite by far, I mean, like, it wasn't even fucking close, was Iron Man. And Black Widow, I didn't even think about it till you said it, Eric, but you're right. Her and Captain America played pretty similar for me.
Yeah, because
so
they're the closest to normal humans.
Yeah.
Like Captain America is way more agile, and he can like wall run and he can double jump. She's got a lot more cooler moves. Like she has that invisibility thing.
Mm-hmm.
She can, she's got unlimited ammo for her pistols, even though it takes, a half a second to reload from time to time.
I mean, but listen,
her combos are very satisfying.
Listen, clearly that suit has a lot of extra pockets for that ammo, and you're just not paying attention, sir. She's carrying all of that ammo with her.
She's not. She's not. Maybe in her cleavage, but that's it.
I did like the fact that her costume in the game, outside of the A-Day one, the one that when you pick up with her later in the game, it's like a full-on turtleneck type costume. Mm-hmm. There's no cleavage.
Yeah,
but
I actually really like that too.
You can unlock what they call the iconic costumes, which are the closest to the comic book versions.
Yeah, no,
Maria, do you have a problem with the iconic version?
No, I mean, listen, we've talked about it before, like the over-sexualization of female characters in comics that still happens to this day is a bummer as a woman.
This would be one of those situations where you're happy she doesn't look like Scarlett Johansson.
It was. Listen, as soon as they got off, like, again, back at the very beginning of the game, as soon as she has that first interaction with Kamala, I'm like, thank Jesus. Like, if I had to sit here and deal with fucking Scarlett Johansson, y'all already know how I feel. It would not, I wouldn't have done this episode. I've been like, dude.
I did enjoy, like, I guess moving off of controls, because control and gameplay, not the best. Story, though, I think they wrote her amazingly, because even later on when you play as her the game, she legit takes the role of second in command after Captain America, while Iron Man and the Hulk are busy fighting between each other. Like, her and Captain America are getting shit done. She's like, look, you two shut the fuck up, we have a mission to do, and she is legit in charge of most things. Even though they didn't give her much to do in the story, like the parts where she does pop in,
that's what I was gonna say. Like, I agree with you, but to a point, all of the characters, yet again, Marvel, Crystal Dynamics, get your shit together, because yet again, she got the short end of the stick. It's like they're following along with the MCU.
Well, they are, because, I mean, Black Widow's not out yet. We don't know what's going on.
I was like, she didn't show up until halfway through the story mode to reveal herself again. But at the same time, this is Kamala's story.
Right.
Like, and I guess you could say she's the Mary Sue. She is our connection to the game, because at the point in this game, it's very much like they did with Spider-Man in the PS4 game, where you're not playing as 16-year-old Peter Parker, you're playing as 20-something Peter Parker who's been Spider-Man for a long time. In this game universe, the Avengers exist. People love the Avengers. They've been a staple of the world for so long. So you're coming into it as we do, as the audience, and that's Kamala's role. Kamala is the audience. And then the events of A-Day happen, and she's infected with Terrigen Mist, which I thought was a good idea, because like they found a way to work it where she's in San Francisco instead of in New Jersey, where in the comics she gets infected. But she wins a fan fiction contest for writing a story about the Avengers, and her and a bunch of other kids get to go and meet the Avengers on the ship. I thought that was great. I did not like the fact that you only get the interaction with her and her father
at the beginning.
It's very sad, and it's good, but like in the comics, she has she has a better interaction with her mother and her brother. Her father is there, but like he's very supportive, but at the same time, he kind of wants her to be more traditional. But her relationship with her brother is a bigger thing in the comics, and they don't even mention that she has a brother in the game.
Yeah, no.
They mention her mother, but we never see her.
Yeah, they mention her mom like that quickly when she was like quoting something that her mom said to her, and it's just like, okay.
But I don't think we really had time for that as far as the story goes.
So here's a question for you, because I agree with you. Like, if we were looking at this on a 1 to 10 scale, like gameplay would be at best a 4 or 5, and that's being a little generous, because there was nothing in the gameplay for me that was revolutionary, different. It's it's literally like somebody just took the file and recopied it a bunch of times with different set pieces.
You basically have the exact same attacks for each character, but they're a little bit different based on how you want to play.
Yeah. But that said, I think that the story, like you said,
the story
Eric,
is where this shines.
Is it really is where it shines. But did you feel like it was too short? Because I could have taken, and mind you, if this is an introduction and they're going to keep adding DLC to it, then I'm fine with it. But if the DLC that they add is only for the multiplayer versions, I'm not going to be thrilled about it, because I thought this was a great story and I want more of the story.
The way that it works out, you don't have to play multiplayer. Like, you can launch a mission and it will just give you 3 computer allies. So you can do that with the DLC. Like, they've already announced the first bit of DLC is based around Hawkeye, and both versions of Hawkeye. Clint Barton, who, little Easter egg on the Avengers helicarrier, he has a room listed for Clint Barton, but it's blocked off. But also Katie Bishop, who is the second Hawkeye. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course, PlayStation as an exclusive, their exclusive character is going to be Spider-Man later on down the line, because Sony.
Jeez, Mo Crisp. So,
and I mean, not to give anything away, like, after you defeat MODOK, what's his name? His second in command basically becomes the scientist supreme at AIM. So the continuing story is going to be about her character, and based on how it ends, I assume we'll get Kree and we'll get the actual Inhumans like Black Bolt and Medusa coming to Earth soon. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm down with all of that. I also like the fact that it is the Avengers, but it's a story about Kamala, and we're getting in the end, when it's all said and done, the long-term villain is a female character. Like, I like how inclusive this has been written. And if this is the direction they're going,
MODOK for the whole game. So I was happy with that, because MODOK is a great villain, but he's also really dumb.
Yeah. So I think I'm really excited about that. I think that more and more, you see Marvel in general trying to be more inclusive. I like the fact that it's not just in the comics, that it's in the games. Like, we've had earlier Marvel games, and, you were lucky if you got one female character to play, and it was always the same one, i.e. Black Widow, and she was never done well. This is the first game that's not the case, and that's very exciting to me.
I am also excited to see, like, when you meet Kamala, she's wearing a Captain Marvel shirt, and even Captain America addresses it. He's like, "Oh, you're a Captain Marvel fan. She's not on World right now, but she might be back." And they don't mention her anymore. But when you go to Kamala's room in New Jersey, they have posters, and instead of using the poster art from like the games, which they do in a couple of spots, they have someone has already modeled the character. So I'm assuming we will see Captain Marvel as a DLC character later.
Yeah, my understanding is that she is actually on the list to be one of the first big
that's
DLC
a no-brainer.
drops. Yeah,
especially with her relationship with Kamala, who she looks up as. But like, not just that. Like, I think Tony Stark is an okay character in this game. He is what you expect of Tony Stark. He's pompous. He's very full of himself. But I think her relationship with Bruce Banner is probably one of the better relationships in this game, because he kind of takes her on as a mentor figure, but he didn't want to be her mentor. And he helps her kind of come to terms with not being normal and dealing with your powers and learning how to, find some type of self-control. I thought they had the best interactions in the game, outside of later on when she meets Captain America, and Captain America basically helps her cope with like things like failure and, not always being able to save everyone.
Yeah,
he does what Cap does.
So supposedly, because I don't know, is Hawkeye, because Hawkeye is supposed to be one of the first.
Hawkeye is the first.
Characters. Yeah, and then
you'll get both versions.
Yeah, you'll get both versions of Hawkeye, and then apparently Spider-Man will be exclusive to PlayStation, which is bullshit.
That's the only reason I bought it on PS4, because I love Spider-Man.
And then Kate Bishop, Black Panther, and War Machine are rumored.
Kate Bishop will come at the same time as
with
regular
Hawkeye, right?
Yeah, they already released the first trailer, and basically the trailer is later on you find out that Hawkeye was around, but I guess he's under mind control or something by the Scientist Supreme, and he's working for AIM. So Katie Bishop is looking for him, and she enlists Black Widow to help her find him.
Yeah. So I mean, I think I'm actually pretty excited. It sounds like they're adding some great characters to it.
Yeah. I also like that G. Willow Wilson, who is the writer of Miss Marvel Comics, who's been the writer since they brought her back. She is a contributing writer on the game, which I thought was great because if anyone knows Miss Marvel, you would at least get the person who writes her in the comic to kind of give some attention to detail. Also, she is a Muslim woman from New Jersey, just like Kamala, so that helps.
Yeah, I am here for all of that. Here's the question, though. Do you think that that's where they kind of end planning the DLCs for this? I mean, when you think about it, I don't remember the last time a Grand Theft Auto game actually came out, but folks are still playing GTA. That's
because they continue to update it with DLC.
Right. So I'm wondering, do you think that based on the studio and, obviously Tomb Raider games, it seems like there's a gazillion of them. Do you think that they would kind of change their format instead of publishing new games every couple of years, really focus and craft in on the DLC?
That seems to be the way that most companies are doing it now, where they'll put out one big game and it's going to be a multi-year game that they can continue to update with DLC packs. And if they were smart, they would do that, not unlike, I'll keep referencing it because it's a better game in every way, shape, and form. Spider-Man for the PS4, they put out, unfortunately, not a lot of DLC because they've got to work immediately working on the Miles Morales game. They put out like 3 big chunk DLC packs where you get to play as Black Cat, and there's a lot going on. So that DLC keeps you going for another 10 hours. If they were smart, they would put out these big chunk multiplayer missions.
Yeah, but I do hope that they do that. I am concerned though, or at least I don't like the fact that we're getting console specific DLC. I mean, I know it's just kind of the way of the future, but these games ain't getting no fucking cheaper. Like,
we can kind of roll this into value. Like the problem with this game like this is microtransactions are going to be a big thing. When you go, you can earn a lot of the costumes, and that was one of my big issues when it came to the visuals. You have all these characters, and each character has like 12 costumes, but you really only have like 3 costumes per character, and like the rest are just palette swaps of the same color. So like with Iron Man, you can have like, I don't know if you can see behind me. I have the game running behind me. Iron Man has some of his like original Sin armor, but it's just a color version of one of the armors that he wears in the game. So even like Kamala will have she has her iconic costume, which is basically a replica of her comic book outfit. And then she has like another version of her, like just in a hoodie and jeans. But there's like 4 different colors of the exact same outfit.
Yeah.
Captain America has like he has like 3 outfits. He has one, and now with DLC,
because they end up just being skins at that point. It's not new content. You're just giving me skins of the same shit, and I don't want that. Yeah.
And with the DLC, like right now, they have another one and you have to pay for all these with real money. Mm-hmm. You have to buy, Ubisoft, Square Enix points or whatever to pay for it. And like looking at the marketplace to buy new costumes, it's expensive. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm bringing it up right now. I'll tell you exactly how much it is. Like right now, if I want this new costume for Thor, it's 900 points. 900 points, I believe, equates to something like $10 in real money.
That. Thor will be straight. He's Asgardian. He don't wash his ass anyway. He can stay in the same costume. We're not doing that.
Yeah, but if you look at Captain America, like they have a version. They have a version of the Ultimate Avengers Captain America suit, and that's $1,400, which is almost $20.
Yeah. What? No, just no. I'm not giving you $20 for a fucking costume on this game.
Not to mention, they're selling like takedowns, like when you beat an opponent enough, mm-hmm. and it gives you the option to press like circle and A or whatever, and you do a cool takedown. They're charging 1,200 credits for an epic takedown, like this Captain America one where he like runs up the dude's chest and like drop kicks him. That's not worth $12.
Well, it's not worth $12. And also, I'm going to sound like a real old person right now, and I'm okay with it.
2,000 credits is $20.
Whatever happened to the days of you play this game until you fucking get calluses so that you can earn the special takedowns, or you can master the final finishing moves and all that shit. Whatever happened to, like, no, fuck that. Do you understand? Do you understand how fucking terrible? Do you understand how fucking terrible when Mortal Kombat was all the rage back in the day? Like that in Street Fighter, how fucking terrible it would have been if I could have been like, oh, I'll just pay a couple extra quarters in this machine, or I'll just download before I go over to my buddy's house this extra shit that I paid for and then whoop his ass. Now, fuck you. You can't say that you're good on these sticks if you're buying it.
Here's the thing. When you like EA got sued for doing this when they came up with Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, where you could pay for loot packs and get better things in the game that would make you play better. They got sued for it. They had to take it down. A couple of other companies have gotten in hot water for the same thing. Now they can sell you things that won't necessarily change the gameplay of the game, but they're all visual and only are like on a cool factor. So if you have to drop $15 to get this Black Widow outfit, it's a Black Widow shield uniform. If you want to spend $15 for that, we're not forcing you to, but you can. That's basically the logic.
But then the takedown nonsense.
The takedown, you can still do regular takedowns with the ones that are in the game. It won't make your takedowns any faster. Yeah, it just won't look as cool. So basically they're saying you can do this and look cool, and your friends will know that you dropped 1,400 credits, which is about $15.
Like, I guess I would even, like with the takedown thing, if you're telling me that I have the option to play the game and unlock those takedowns on my own, maybe I wouldn't be as upset, because all right, if it doesn't change the gameplay and, you know, so what if that guy bought it? I'm proud of it because I earned it and it doesn't really change the gameplay and it's cool. That's great. But if you're telling me, no, you don't have an option to actually play the game more and unlock this thing, you can only get it by purchasing it, then fuck you.
Kind of like this Hulk, Gladiator Hulk outfit that you can only get by buying it. And it's 1,400 credits, which is about $15. Again, it's purely cosmetic, but it is a shitty deal for, you know, someone who you know, a 9-year-old who got this game as a gift and doesn't have money to spend on it.
Right. Because I was going to say, because what this really is a parent trap.
Yeah.
It's a fucking parent trap. Because, you know, you don't want little Timmy to get teased when his friends come over. So, of course, you're going to go ahead and give him the money to, like, this is just stupid. This is stupid, and they should be.
The value is unfortunate because, like, they're saying, yes, the DLC will be free. So you'll get these new characters and you'll get these new story missions, but any of the cool shit, like if you want to get, you know, Hawkeye's outfit from the Matt Fraction runs, or if you want to get, you know, a cool Spider-Man outfit, you're going to have to pay way more money. And unfortunately, someone like me will, because I
was getting ready to say,
I'm
they
that
got
person.
you with that Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, no. They literally, that's the only reason I paid for it on PS4 is because I wanted Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't know if this game is for me. I don't know if it's the type of game that I like. If that makes
like
sense.
I said, it's essentially a brawler, and it can be fun with friends. But the problem is, while you're having fun as your picked character, like if you want to play as Captain America and she's Thor and I'm Miss Marvel, like, yeah, we're just still beating up the exact same characters because there's not much diversity in the gameplay.
Right. There's not diversity in the gameplay, and it's not like they took an open world format for when you do multiplayer, which, like, you know, you could have a series of like 50 different characters that people can be, and you and your homies can go beat up whatever other homies that have chosen to be bad.
They've tried that with video games. It doesn't always work so well. Like they did it with DC Universe, and you still have to, you're in the game, you can go to a PvP arena. That was basically an online MMORPG. It didn't work so well.
It's also a DC game, and most DC games aren't good.
They do a little bit better. Like Batman Arkham series. Come on.
Okay, you're right. The Arkham series are amazing. Give me another DC title that has a great game. Exactly. There aren't any.
Thinking, let him think.
No.
Yeah,
if there was, he would have just shot it off the way he was like, Batman Arkham series. He would have shot it off.
Okay, first of all, he didn't sound like Batman. Series. He didn't sound like Batman telling you about it. So
Where is she? Where is she?
The Telltale series by the Batman Telltale series.
Give me something that's not Batman.
I can't because DC, gives preference to Batman. But when they put good developers behind it, they do make good games.
He
I don't
can't
like
because
Batman.
Batman's right behind him. Like, no, all of my.
I like Batman the animated
is
series.
Right behind him.
I like Batman the animated series, but you're not, I'm not gonna tell you that you can't play a Superman game because Superman's too overpowered. You can't really make a game out of it. Oh, Injustice. Those games are amazing too.
Fair. The Injustice games were good. All right, that's it though. I mean, at the end of the day, looking at this game in its entirety, I want, because it is a Marvel game and it is pretty. Like, I want to be like, oh, this is a 9 out of 10. Pretty. Right. But overall, like, I can't believe I'm saying this. I would rate Paper Mario for overall value, enjoyment, and everything else, which is the other game we reviewed. And it's a completely different type of game. Don't get me wrong. I would rate Paper Mario as a complete product higher than I would rate this Avengers game.
I would rate Animal Crossing higher than this.
Oh, shit. Well, I haven't started Animal.
You're both right and you're both wrong. Like I said, this is...
Whoa. Is that what we do now? Right and wrong? I thought these were opinions. Don't tell me I'm wrong.
My opinion, you're both right and you're both wrong. Like I said, this is a completely different type of game.
Yeah, it is.
He's saying you're wrong and I'm right. Just
Nintendo did not design Paper Mario or Animal Crossing. Well, Animal Crossing maybe because, they don't have a lot of DLCs you have to pay for.
No, they don't.
This game is designed as a cash grab to get you to buy more shit to play the game for longer.
Absolutely. And to your point, Eric.
And they reel you in with this amazing story that makes you happy and sad, but the gameplay is not in the same level as the story. So
to piggyback off of what you said, Eric, you are right. They are different games. And that's why I said overall entertainment, because you can't compare them apples to apples. They're not the same type of game. But let's say you did want to pick a game that was a little bit more apples to apples. Apples to apples is a game, though. Apples to apples is a game, but not that game. Let's talk about a video game. Batman, what was it? The last one? It wasn't Arkham Asylum, because that was the
Arkham
one
Knight.
before. Arkham Knight shits on this game.
I think Batman Arkham Knight, next to Arkham Origins, is the weakest of the series.
You're not wrong. So then pick any of the Arkham games, and they're... Arkham City. My point is, if you take... He doesn't know what he's doing. He's being a dick is what he's doing. My point is, if you take
can't name any good DC games. Let me name 5.
And they're all Arkham. If you take any of the Arkham games, so you can even take the weakest Arkham game, and it's still a better overall game than this Avengers game.
Yeah,
it just is.
No. The Arkham games, unlike this game, they balance both amazing story and amazing gameplay. They did something that hadn't been done before, where it was they put you in a situation where in a fight you felt like Batman. You did some Batman ninja shit, as in this game.
Or you just cursed and screamed a lot when you couldn't do Batman ninja shit and you were getting your ass kicked.
Well, step your shit up. Don't be lame.
No, listen, it happens to the best of us. I'm just saying.
The keys are there. If you can't be Batman, it's because you suck. Maybe don't suck.
You saying you suck?
I do suck. No, listen, I love the game, but it is incredibly frustrating considering that most of what I play is first-person shooters. I don't play a lot of straight up action games. So they're always a little bit more challenging for me, but Batman's on a whole nother level. And that's what makes it a great game. This is not something that you can give a 6-year-old and they're like, oh, look, I'm Batman, I'm doing it. No, they're not going to get past the first. Oh my God, level.
Batman gave that guy a traumatic brain injury.
Right. Well, there is a lot of brain trauma. But
it's very different because Batman's not fighting robots. This you can pick up. You can be the Hulk and tear a robot in half because it's a robot.
Batman. Yeah, he ain't fighting robots. So so overall, it's not a best in genre for me at all. No. The story is amazing though.
The story is the only thing that will keep me coming back to play these free DLC missions. I don't think I will invest the money unless they come out and they put out Spider-Man and they put out the Future Foundation suit, and then maybe I'll spend $15 because I love the Future Foundation suit. But most comic book characters, Spider-Man has 1.5 million costumes.
He's got way too many costumes.
They're gunning at people like me. They're like, hey, you dork, you want this costume? I'm like, yeah, I do.
Maybe you shouldn't be so. Maybe you shouldn't be so committed to one character, and then you wouldn't have that problem because you wouldn't give a fuck about their costumes.
No, because I want to buy all these costumes. I want this Gladiator Hulk outfit because it looks fucking awesome.
I'm telling you right now, if I come over to your house and you've got that fucking Gladiator Hulk costume on the Hulk, dude, I'm gonna give you so much shit.
He's already bought it. He's already bought it.
It's downloading right now as we speak.
Didn't you hear that? Cha-ching.
All right. So overall,
also I would say they underused Ant-Man. Like
they did. That's a really good point.
Game, and like he helps a little bit, but I have a feeling this is just so that they can make another story mission later where they bring in Scott Lang, because he mentions that during the 5 years AIM experimented on him and he can't change size anymore or he'll die. But he still helps out later. He gets his Pym particles back. He still can't change, but like he helps take down the big tank or whatever. I have a feeling later on we'll get Scott Lang, who comes in to steal the Pym particle, and like he'll become the next Ant-Man, and Ant-Man will be another DLC character, which is kind of cool. But you're kind of, there's also a lot of like the robots that he puts together that is foreshadowing Ultron like shit.
Yeah.
Because Hank Pym created Ultron.
Right.
So yeah, they foreshadow that pretty hard.
Here's a question for you though. You know, obviously with all of the skins, they're being assholes and charging ridiculous amounts of money. Do you think that they will continue to give us the free DLC as far as like story modes?
Yeah,
or story editions. Okay,
that's what the story DLC is going to be free. I would like, and I don't know if this maybe is a thing with Disney, that I would wish that they could give us like the MCU costumes. I would pay for the MCU costumes.
But I don't
even
think
if
they will.
faces don't look the same. I
don't think they will. I
Yeah.
think that they're really trying to keep it separate.
No, but give me the costume. Like, and I hate to keep going back to Spider-Man on PS4. Sony owns the right to Spider-Man in almost every, form of media. So like, you have those costumes when you play that game. You have the Spider-Man costumes from the Raimi movies. You have the Spider-Man costumes from the MCU movies, all of them, and they look amazing. So give me, like, I don't like any of the Thor costumes in this game.
No,
give
they're
me
not good.
MCU Thor, like the outfit that he wears in Infinity War, the one that's all black. Give me that.
I just need to know when the expansions are going to include Doctor Strange. Thank you.
I would hope so, because they didn't really get into any of the mystical characters. Like, they leave a big hole open for space characters. Like, even in the last battle, when the Kree Sentry pops up, the only person who knows what it is Thor. Because he's like, oh, a Kree Sentry, because he's been to space. He knows about that. So I would like to see more space characters. But yeah, they don't really touch on any of the mystic stuff.
So there's a lot of room from a value perspective. There's a lot of room for this game to have value over time.
Yes.
But buyer beware. Understand.
Oh, they're coming for your pockets.
Yeah, they're coming for your pockets, and know that if you play at least the original straight up version of the game, it is going to get pretty repetitive pretty early.
Yeah, and even the expansions are like, someone like me, I'm going to play the expansions because I want to continue the story. I care about the story more than I care about the gameplay, because the gameplay is honestly pretty lackluster. It's average at best.
At best. That's average is generous. Like, it is, there's nothing impressive about the gameplay.
Like, once you get over the whole, like, oh my God, Hulk smash and gamma claps and things like that, you're like, okay, I gamma clapped for the 700th time because there's 10 robots running at me. Gamma clap. All right, next mission.
Yeah, and I didn't feel that. That's actually a good point. And I think it's the last thing I'm going to say about it. I don't feel like the characters evolved enough, even though you would go into your menu and it seemed like there were 85 million things you needed to do and check off and get and all that other shit.
Yeah. I mean, Thor just pops in halfway and he's like, I wasn't doing. I did like the fact that the comic reference, he's wearing his name tag from being at the hospital, his Donald Blake costume. And he just pops up. He's like, oh, there's a robot over in New Jersey. Hammer. Zoom. All right, let me help you guys. And then he's back in the Avengers.
Yeah. I just, there was, I'm always, when we talk about movies and shows, I'm always talking about lazy writing. I feel like there was some lazy development.
For Thor, yes. Yeah. Thor especially, because like everybody else, they make it a point to tell you where Black Widow has been. She's kind of been undercover at AIM. Cap was on a satellite, feared dead. Iron Man decided to just run away from everything, and Hulk went back to try to fix things because he felt responsible for Cap's death, and it broke him and the Hulk together. And like he'd done multiple times in the comics, and he even did it at the end of Age of Ultron. Hulk protects Banner. When things get too rough for Banner, Hulk takes over.
Yep.
So I did appreciate that, but yeah, Thor just popping up at a random point was like, "Hey guys, I'm back, lightning." It's like, thanks, Thor.
But I think that there was that laziness in the writing, but I think that overall there was a general laziness in the gameplay design. It was just so much of the same shit that you've already done in other games.
It could have been a lot better.
It could have been so much better. Like there would have been so much room to just do things just a little differently. And it just meh.
Yeah. All right. I don't know about 1 to 10. I always tend to give everything the Netflix rating or the old Netflix rating where it was like 1 to 5. Like
all right, let's go like, 1 to 5.
I go like Netflix rating was 1 hated it, 2 didn't like it, 3 liked it, 4 really liked it, 5 loved it.
All right. So Manera, what would be your rating of Marvel's Avengers? I'm surprised she had to think about it. I thought she was gonna like
again this
Tom
game
Segura
is a mixed bag.
and just yell a number at us.
Like, it's very much a mixed bag. Like,
I want to say maybe
I don't want to jump the gun on you. I'm at a solid 3.5.
Okay. Then I will go 3 as well. Like I wanted to say 3, but then I was also like, well, it might just be me, so let me say 4.
Yeah, no, but, and it really it gets the half because the story is amazing.
Yeah,
and the acting
I'll
is
go
amazing.
with 3.
So I'm going to give it a solid 3. I'm not giving it the extra half for the story because the only reason it's a 3 is because of the story. If I had to go just based off of gameplay, mechanics, all that stuff, it would easily be a 2. I'm giving it a whole ass point because
it would have been just a 3 for me if I had played it. Like if I had gotten this on launch day on the 4th when it was extra buggy, I played it post bug fixes. So like I watched a bunch of YouTubers like just show different bugs and like they would break the game. So had I gotten it at that point, it would have been a solid 3. But now that it works, it's a 3.5 for me.
Well, see, I was playing it just this week or just this past weekend. So I've got the updates and it was still a little buggy for me.
Yeah, so, it's still a little buggy, but it apparently it was bad.
Yeah,
say
I wanted
again.
Buggy.
Yeah. I love it.
You want me to say buggy? Buggy. Yeah, if it's I can't as much as I want to because the story is so good and I love the representation. Yeah, I'm gonna try to be objective and say
and of course, I'm a Miss Marvel fan, so.
I'm not going to give it the fangirl love that I want to give it. It's a 3.
Yeah, that's fair.
Awesome. All right. So with that, I do know that I think Manera's got some feedback for us. So it's time for.
We got emails and we got Facebook.
Nice. So it's time for her to do her grab bag. Wait, why is she looking at us like, wait, we did?
I didn't know we had emails.
Yeah, we got an email. I believe it is from Corey.
I just knew about the Instagram comments.
And it is directed at you specifically.
Who, Manera?
Yeah.
What? Wait, okay. I thought that we got Instagram likes. I didn't think that we got Instagram stories.
No, KB posted on it.
Yeah, we got Instagram. Okay. We got Instagram. I know we got Facebook.
I thought we got Facebook as well. Okay, let's get ourselves together. We're sorry that we're so discombobulated. We're all on a different page. I'll get to you in a fucking second, Corey. Let's get to what we actually know, which is Facebook. And Corey decided to show up here as well. So Corey says he actually liked it. He does think that they should have went ahead and called it Miss Marvel and the Avengers because it's basically how the story unfolds, and she's such an awesome character. Satisfied with his purchase so far. I agree with that. What do you guys think?
I don't think they should have called it Miss Marvel and the Avengers because at a certain point, Miss Marvel does become an Avenger. Like this is kind of, as I said, it's her story, and
it's her coming of age story.
Yeah,
of her becoming an Avenger. All right, that sounded stupid,
yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Anyways, okay, so thanks for that, Corey. Once again, I'll get to that random email you sent in a second. And the other comment that we had on Facebook was from Andreas, who says, the game story mode is really fun, but the momentum really drops after that. The gameplay is a lot more rewarding if you have a friend or two playing with you. Otherwise, it's just a loot grind, which is what you guys said. Captain America is my favorite to play because the shield will take out close to 10 guys with one good toss.
He's absolutely right, especially once you like there are leveling up and you get new moves for your character. So like I said, Captain America became one of my favorites just because of his versatility as a brawler. So I agree with him 100%. And yeah, the story mode is great, but after a while it kind of like grinding gets really boring. And it takes a lot for you. Like if I had friends who wanted to play through some of these extra story missions and, you know, do the grinding together, I'm not going to do it on my own because it will be boring.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so there is that. I went on our Instagram post and I didn't see anything. I just saw 11 likes.
No, I was wrong.
No, okay. I got scared. I'm sorry. I got scared because I was like, listen, if emails are popping in and then
the only Instagrams I saw were a text, two texts from random ass people who were like bottom text and you shouldn't use meme font on things that aren't a meme. I was like, shut the fuck up, 12-year-old.
What's meme font?
You know the font that I like when I make the episode things. Mm-hmm. It's technically the font is called Impact, and you use it in memes all the time. So people just being internet people.
You can use whatever the fuck you want to.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go suck a dick. All right, so
hey guys, go suck a dick.
There we go. I like it. All right, so
with it, I approve.
Corey decided to put Manira's Mad Bag Optimus. Okay, so I think this is for you, Eric, this beginning. This is the most slanderous, mean, and I'm guessing spirited. He probably got a hold of that box wine. Yet totally hilarious episode. Highly recommend. That said, I want in for when part 2 drops. Me and my box wine would like to play Optimus Advocate. Deuces.
Fuck Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
For real. Listen, you would think he would be tired of our abuse on our side hustle.
Lovecraft.
Right. on our side hustle podcast about Lovecraft Country. Dog, nah. If
Here comes popping in.
Right. Always trying to defend the defenseless.
His box wine sloshing around.
Yeah, if he wants to do it on From the Canopy and talk about when they drop the rest of that Return War for Cybertron trilogy, I'll jump on there and I'll talk shit about Optimus Prime some more.
Oh my gosh, yo, you and me both. As a matter of fact, that'll be the only reason I actually go back and finish that fucking show is so that I can go on From the Canopy and talk shit about Optimus Prime.
I'm not coming.
All right, guys.
I think that's all.
Yeah, yes. What to say is that it?
That's it. Yes, thank you so much, Corey. Don't bother us again. Keep it respectful. We will see you tomorrow. Get out of here. I hate you.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Well, as always, we want to thank you for listening and watching. If you like the episode, please rate us, drop a review, subscribe to the podcast on your normal podcast services, and subscribe to the video on YouTube too, because you need more subscriptions in your life. Tell your friends about it and all that good stuff. You want more subscriptions.
Also, the YouTube channel has the latest trailers for all the new shit coming out too.
Well, yeah. Do you want to talk about that, Eric? How that's a new thing that we're doing
Just
on the
putting
podcast?
Up trailers. I figure it's easier if you come to the people you trust, which is us, and you see the things that you want to see. I'm not sending you to some bogus link. I'm not sending you a rumor site. No, it's a straight up trailer. If you want to see, have you seen the Mandalorian season 2 trailer?
Oh, it's on our
channel. Have you seen the WandaVision trailer? It's on our channel.
Also so good. I didn't think I was going to be excited about that show at all until you posted.
I got so excited.
Yeah, until you posted the trailer and I was like, holy shit, this actually looks really good.
Yeah.
So anyway, like we were saying,
it's more than just our pretty faces. It's great trailers too.
It's not just our pretty faces. We're posting other things, so definitely sign up. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Oh my God.
Sorry.
For those that are listening to this, Eric is posing like a pretty princess for us.
He's a little cherub.
He is a
I'm
little
the prettiest
cherub.
princess.
Oh my
You ain't
God.
the prettiest fucking princess. Get out of here.
Look at that.
Ooh.
Nah.
Oh my gosh.
You had to use
Well,
filters. You're cheating.
We'll have a ding off. We will have a ding off. You ready?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, then you're not a princess, bitch.
Oh.
Anyway,
One-
Maria, you were.
Yeah, I'm
No,
gonna-
1, 2, 3. Oh, you didn't know what it was, but all of a sudden somebody
he did
turned
it,
their fucking
though.
head, didn't
But
they?
he did it. He knew what he was doing. All right. You can follow this fuckery as well on Twitter and Instagram, where we do updates for episode drops. Eric and Manir do a great job of posting all types of shit that you're probably interested in. Our handle on both is @ConcentratedPod. Don't give me that look. You know I don't post shit on social media. That's y'all.
Bitch, neither do I. It's all Eric.
All right.
I post
next-
comments like wine box and thanks for that, but we don't need it, or things
Right.
like that.
Next week, y'all, I'm so very excited that we're going to be doing our season 2 part 2 of our season 2 of The Boys recap. I don't know if y'all are caught up, but
Is that next week?
Are you sure?
I think there's 2 more episodes.
Yeah.
Is it 2 more? I think it's next week. I'm almost positive it's next week.
I think this week was episode 6. They're only doing 8.
Oh shit. Well, then we're not doing it. We're gonna wait one more week for that, guys. What we will be talking about next week. I'm excited. I'm so excited about getting back to it because this season has gone in ways that I was not expecting it to go. So that
2 more
said,
episodes. I just confirmed.
instead, what we will be
And
talking
also, they
about.
already confirmed a season 3.
Good. They needed
It's already
to.
been renewed.
But they did that before the season started, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they're very much behind it.
All right. What we will be talking about instead, and we are definitely looking for you guys to give us tons of feedback, are some of our favorite Indigenous characters throughout media. Full disclosure, don't come on here talking about the fucking Disney's Pocahontas. All right. Now we want actual, well done favorite Indigenous characters.
You don't want to paint with all the colors of the wind?
I swear if somebody sends that in, I'm gonna have a meltdown on air. So definitely send us your thoughts and let us know who your favorites are. You can send those as well as any questions or topics that you would like us to cover, or just feedback in general to our email address, which is concentratedpodcast@gmail.com. You can also drop us a message on our Facebook page, which is Concentrated Podcast. And lastly, you can leave us a voicemail at 301-531-4393. Again, it's 301-531-4393.
Can I also
Guys, that is
add an
it for this
addendum?
week. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Can you also not put up Tiger Lily from Peter Pan? Thanks.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
Pocahontas and Tiger Lily from the Disney movies are fucking off limits. Don't send them. We will drag you.
Yeah.
Listeners and watchers be warned. All right. Eric, is there any Indigenous person or Indigenous character on your list that if it comes in, you're dragging them?
No. I'm thinking of a few myself, but I'm trying to remember which ones were really badly racist.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
No, I'm trying
we're
to
supposed to talk about
avoid
favorites.
those.
Oh,
But he's
okay.
trying to
Yeah.
avoid the racist
Oh.
ones.
Don't take
Cool.
Yeah.
mine.
No. Like I said,
We don't even know
I'll
what
think of
yours
something.
is yet, and we'll save that for next
We
week.
watched the same thing, so maybe he might pick that. I hope he does.
I already know. I already got a few, and they happen to be related.
Okay.
Oh boy. All right. Well, guys, you're going to have to tune in next week to find out exactly what these two ding-dongs are talking about. And that is it for this week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Peace.
Oh, are we waving? All right. Bye.